Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, July 10th, 2022, and this is the Morgellons Call of the Week. I am here with the worldwide expert, Richard Kuhns, and we're about to enter our Q&A session where people have questions and are going to find answers.
Thank you, Rob. Yes, let's get some questions on the way. Quickly, again, the FDA requires me to inform everybody that before you start the King Diet or accept any of our recommendations, to discuss them thoroughly with your doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. The AMA and the FDA requires to tell you that we are not doctors. We've not been trained as such. Therefore, only doctors can treat, diagnose, cure, or mitigate any diseases. We can't do any of that. We're limited and only are here to educate you. None of what we're sharing with you has been evaluated by the FDA, but we're here to educate you how to use the King Diet, how to clean the organisms out of your environment, out of your skin, and get your life back using our targeted supplements to build health and immune functioning. Okay, Chris, you got anybody with a question?
The first one's from Diane, and she says, snow peas is the only thing listed, and there is no mention of any other kind of pea. I am curious because I miss peas. I think someone in your group told me no peas because they are a fatty vegetable. I know the peas are in the legume family. I do not eat snow peas, but they are hard to find in my area. Getting tested next week for glaucoma. The doctor is sending me on to a specialist because she suspects it, but I'm wondering if Morgellons is playing a role in this. So many questions. Oh, do you want to answer that, and then I'll go on to the other questions?
Morgellons and glaucoma, there's no relationship to my knowledge. Morgellons can raise hell with your eyes, or any of these organisms can raise hell. You can end up with scratched corneas and actually go blind from them if you don't know what to do or how to clean your eyes. But in terms of the medical condition glaucoma, there's no relationship. I was amazed that the snow peas are okay. I thought they would be a problem, but for me they were all right, even though peas are not okay. So, is there a third one?
Are really high in sugar.
Is that right? Yeah. Austin. Hello.
You logged in from two different numbers. Austin?
I can finish this email in the meantime.
Yep. Finish this one.
Okay. She says, so many questions. I think my garden is infested with mites. Have you thought of doing a Sunday show on this? I'm using neem oil and covering most plants with diatomaceous earth, and it is not working. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, gardens, absolutely. I don't think it bears a whole show on this. I mean, Robin's got the answer. I learned it from her, and that is, Robin?
Garden Safe Fungicide 3. Now, let me just say that that's very hard to find right now, but there are multiple alternatives. They just say 70% neem oil, fungicide, miticide, insecticide. And any of those will work, and you can get them at Home Depot, at Walmart, at any garden supply store.
Yeah, go to Lowe's, get them there. It comes in a bottle that you actually attach to the hose, so you actually spray it from the hose,
yes.
Which is really fantastic when it comes to application. And I can tell you, it seems to last forever. I mean, I sprayed a lot around my house. I've had this bottle for 2 years, and I can spray the roses, I can spray the patio, I can spray the walkways, and it's still working. So it's very economical.
Okay, I have a question. In my kitchen and in my bath area, a couple days ago, I noticed these little, they're minuscule. They look like little, specks, and they fly. Would that be springtails? Because what I did, I felt like I was living in a twilight zone. I got some diatomaceous earth, the food grade, and I put it all over underneath my kitchen sink and my bathroom area, and they stopped. temporarily, but I wanted to know what, could that be springtails or a type? Because again, I know ultimately, my environment, but I cannot move right now. This is the problem, so I'm doing the best I can in this environment. And I have a lot of cofactors, like a lot of people do. But yeah, I wanted to know what do they look like?
They're not columbola. They are not springtails. Springtails are not capable of flying.
Oh, okay.
They are a rod-shaped organism, about 300 angstroms in length, plus or minus 30 or 40% there. They spring, so they can spring up and be carried in an air current. They look like a dust particle. If you have God rays coming through a window and you see the dust particles floating, that's kind of what they look like. But they're not going to necessarily be floating unless you have a lot of air currents. It's a good idea to use an air purifier in the home to circulate the air through to trap any that might be in the air. Also, Morgellons filaments and fibers also can become airborne, and it's a good idea to run a good air filter to take them out as well.
Yeah, I have an air purifier, and we're going to be receiving a dehumidifier this week, so that's a good thing. But so I mean, it's really weird because I couldn't catch these critters.
They could be flying mice. They could be.
Oh, flying mites. Could it be fungus? Like a fungus mite?
Flying. No. There are 40,000 species of mites. And
unbelievable. It's like I felt like it was so strange. I mean, it was like I was freaking out. Like, how can I couldn't catch them.
They fly. You don't want to catch them. You want to kill them.
You don't want to catch them. Yeah, you just want to kill them.
The diatomaceous earth is good because any place they land, it's going to kill them.
Right.
This would be where, if they become a nuisance, this is where you'd want the electrostatic sprayer, because it can also go on the walls and on the ceiling, and the electrostatic sprayer would, of course, get all those surfaces very quick and very fast.
Okay, the sprayer is important. Yeah. Can I ask another question? Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to know, I haven't, taken care of my vanity for the longest time here with my hair. What do folks do if they have to get their hair cut or hair done or go to the barber shop? How do you prepare for that? How do you protect yourself when you go to these shops?
You don't go to a barber shop. You don't go to a beauty salon until you know that you're not contagious, until you know that you're not shedding. So that's when you're free of itching and biting, and that's when you're free of organisms flying out of your scalp or out of your body. So until then, please don't go. Just trim your hair short as you can possibly, manage it at home, and stay home and get yourself in a responsible space that you can go to salons. I mean, I've had people call me and tell me, well, I own a salon and everybody's got it, holy, I would be in that situation. It's terrible.
So people can get, in other words, how does anyone know they could have picked it up in a salon?
You're right? You picked it up flying in an airplane.
Right. It's like really strange. It's a strange world out here. Okay. So, but if you go, so you haven't had your hair cut at all? I mean, when you're clear, what do you do to protect yourself when you are clear?
Well, you become very cognizant of your surroundings. You become cognizant of you see, here, this is a little bit of a problem that may be a little difficult for many of you to understand. But when you get clear, you kind of forget what it felt like. So you might get reinfected, and it might take you a day or two to figure out that you're being reinfected, that you've been reinfected, by which time it may be too late. So the idea is, as soon as you notice any activity, I carry my little 2-ounce spray bottle with me everywhere I go. It's the one I use for cleaning my mask. It's got Nature's Gift in it. It's got some lavender in it. And I will disinfect my mask. I will disinfect anything I touch. I will disinfect a seat before I sit. If I go to a show or something, I will disinfect that seat with it before I sit in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also, they have natural essential oil anti-bug sprays. and you can use that, it would help, but it's, you know, it's not going to stop everything.
Yeah, well, the easy thing is to take the, you know, if I were to go to, if I were a lady and I went to the salon to get my hair done, all right, I'd go, I'd get it done, I'd get it shampooed, and I would come home and I'd wash it again.
And wash your clothes.
And I'd wash my clothes. You know, yeah. I would assume that I was contaminated, and I would decontaminate myself. I would give the little buggers a chance to get going again.
I got you. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for the feedback, as always.
Okay, who's next, Chris?
This one's from Nancy. She says, have you heard of anyone having muscle cramps or spasms? I'm having them in my hands, my legs, my feet sometimes. I'm wondering if anyone has had these problems.
I didn't quite hear that. What was it?
Spasms, muscle spasms.
Oh, muscle spasms. There's no relationship between Morgellons or any skin parasites and muscle spasms. The relationship generally is a lack of potassium. So you want to boost your potassium. Now, if you're fortunate to be in stage 2, that's bananas. Bananas have lots of potassium. So you want to look at boosting potassium. You could do that starting with our ionic minerals, and make sure you infuse your water with the ionic minerals. And if that doesn't do it, then you want to figure out another way to get more potassium.
Sometimes magnesium helps too.
Potassium is the miracle one, yes.
Next one is from Donna, and she says, hi, Richard. Does Morgellons glow and pupils glow under UV light and other areas of the body? These are from healingwell.com. I myself see them glowing in normal light in my body fluids, including blood and urine. P.S. Some days I see fibers moving on my fingertips, and I'm not kidding.
The word that she is saying is glowing, Glowing, not growing, glowing. And yes, Morgellons filaments, we call them filaments. Dr. Saverly makes this distinction in her book to make it distinguish between fibers, which are like from clothing, and filaments, which are growing from your skin. So they do fluoresce in ultraviolet or black light. I don't know about the fluids. I suppose if they're in your body fluids, because Morgellons is systemic, that it would glow there as well. I don't know, but it would be generally under fluorescent or black light that you would see them. I wouldn't think that they would glow with normal lighting. So, okay, do we have the participants on the phone yet?
One of the primary problems that I have discovered. Oops, I'm sorry. One of the primary problems is the vocabulary. Doctors and nurses have a tendency to, first off, work from a limited education. Second, they assume that every kind of gas is the same, whether it's helium, oxygen, hydrogen, and they all say it's the same thing. And when they use the word delusional, they say that a person is irrational in the way they behave. And what you need to do, first off, is to look up their vocabulary in their dictionary to find their understanding of what the delusional means. And when you do that, you find out that they don't know what they're talking about, because if you go to what's called the Merck Manual, M-E-R-K, the Merck Manual is sort of a Bible to all college medical professionals. And in it delineates the protocol for establishing what is delusional, and then it identifies what delusional means. Because what happens is that if they cannot catch you in that trap, the second trap they try to catch you is in Munchhausen by proxy. Because if you have an affliction and they somewhat get the understanding of an affliction, But then they will say, well, you're the cause of the affliction for the affected person. So they send you to psych like they did me. I went to psych for 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years, they said there's nothing wrong if you go back to primary care. So if you ask them, okay, I accept your theory that I am delusional, but may I ask you a question? If I were in a motor vehicle accident and I have bones stuck out of my legs and arms and such, are you going to tell me I need to go see a psych because I'm responsible for that collision? You see, they're saying that you are responsible for the holes in your body and for the things that's happening to it. But ask them a simple question: am I responsible for being obese and for suffering from congestive heart failure? Am I responsible for cancer in the lungs? Yeah. Are you going to send me to psych, or are you going to send me to a cancer doctor?
Let me interrupt you here.
Yeah.
This is an argument that has gone on for 20 years. We're not going to resolve it here.
No, we're not.
Is that unfortunately, this is the state of the medical profession, as I stated in the first portion of the program, and it's in you. You just don't go into any doctor suggesting that you might have Morgellons or any skin parasite, because 99.9%, sure enough, you might find 1% that might say, oh, I think you might have Morgellons. I don't know what to do about it, but I think that's what you might have. That's about the best kind of response ever going to get from a doctor. So file that away.
I go to the VA, and they sent me to University of San Francisco Medical Center. The dermatologist did a complete background check, and then he came back and he told me, sir, you have Morgellons. And I said, okay. So he gave me that the chemicals that stimulates the body to create a better atmosphere. He started giving me medicine for that. But the thing that really helped was the soap that you sell. That if you can get the 9-ounce bottle on the cheap, then do it. Anything you can from your store is a great help.
Well, I'm glad you got results from it, but do not rely on our soaps or products. Rely on the diet. Make that diet work, and the soaps and products are simply going to get you a lot faster to the end, to where you want to be.
Absolutely, and thank you for that closing argument.
Keep tuning in. We're here to support you in getting your life back. Congratulations on having your own space. And I hope you took notes in the first part where Robin went through the protocol, making your list and so forth, and things to do in your journal to make sure that you have that new space pristine and decontaminated, so that you have the best chance and fastest chance of getting your life back. So make the diet work. Do the bathing, and you're on a roll. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, who's next, Chris?
Is there any feedback when people get COVID? Is it worse when you have Morgellons, and is there a different way to look at that then?
Well, no. Our resident expert on that is Robin. She's had COVID twice, right?
4 times, actually.
She's had COVID, so she can answer all your questions.
No, it's not worse when you have Morgellons. What's bad is if you are sick with COVID, it's hard to do all the things you have to do for Morgellons. But, and no, I have a compromised immune system for other reasons, and that's why I'm susceptible to COVID, but it has nothing to do with Morgellons.
Okay, because I had a really hard time, and now I have a heart condition, and
there are other factors, and some people, even healthy young people who get mild cases of Morgellons, end up with really severe results, which is why I think the vaccines are so important and the boosters. I mean, the last 2 times I had Morgellons, it was really mild because I've been vaxxed and boosted, and it makes all the difference in the world. So, Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your life back. Who's next, Chris?
I wanted to let you guys know I had my appointment with Dr. Cornish, and the first thing that she wanted me to do was get my diet under control. So $500 later.
Let me stop, please. Oh, she wanted you to get your diet under control. So what did she tell you to do diet-wise?
I haven't really gotten a chance to go over her protocol. I've had a super busy week, and I'm just trying not to overwhelm myself with anything. But it's really eliminate gluten, sugar, the fast food, anything like that, all the toxins. The first step is detoxing. In the plan that we have, she wants me to take reactive magnesium.
So she basically told you to eat healthy, but no specifics in terms of what fats you can have or what fruits you can or cannot have.
Yeah, it's way less detailed than what you offer. So.
Just a general eat healthy kind of diet. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's getting the gut under control and definitely the gluten and she didn't really go over it. We had an hour, so it was pretty her protocol, what she does, and then she sent me a bunch of information, and she wants me to do another tick-borne panel. It's $500. I'm like, I'm not really interested in doing that. It's just the whole. It really, I have to say that this program is, from all the research that I've done in the 7 months that I've been dealing with this, and every brain power that I've had left with all this brain fog that I have to say that this seems to be the most knowledgeable program that's offered. Even with the doctors. So a little shout out to you, Richard. But I did have a question. I'm kind of forgetting it now. I didn't get to hear the first part, so I'm definitely going to go back and re-listen to this playback. But I can't think of what my question was. I'm mad, but I'm going to let somebody else share.
Oh, you're kind of breaking up there. I missed some of what you were saying.
I forget what I was gonna say anyway. My question, but I'm gonna pass now. But thank you for your protocols, Richard.
You're welcome. Keep coming back, and if you remember what you wanted to ask, Chris will tune you in again later.
Okay.
All right, Chris. Who's next? Dr. Cornish and Dr. Saverly, Dr. Bransfield, and a couple others, they are the people associated with the Charles Holman Association and the treatment of chronic Lyme disease, aka Morgellons disease. They use antibiotics, and Sarah shared before that they're kind of rough on the stomach, these antibiotics. Now, we also use antibiotics that are a natural antibiotic, acillin, and, so you decide which route you want to go, and Sarah is finding our program is working for her and is a bit more knowledgeable. The other interesting is that... Yes.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, Dr. Ebony Cornish does not have me starting on antibiotics until we get the diet under control. So her method is a little bit different than Ginger Savely's, and she's actually more aligned with your protocols.
Oh, really?
It really does work well together. And, I can email you personally with what I get from her. So, just so that you have that, rather than taking up time on this meeting. But, it really does seem to be working, coinciding with what you're giving me.
Okay. Did you remember what you wanted to ask?
Yes. So the fibers, I'm having a real problem with my hair. And Robin's helped me a lot, but I don't know if this is like normal for everybody else, but when my hair is like falling out, even if I like cut it or shave it, it's like literally like cutting through my skin. I don't know if that's like typical, but it's like I'm literally finding fibers coming out of like my legs and stuff, and then they like get planted in my skin.
So what is the problem with the hair? You have what's happening? I didn't quite understand.
It's like my hair is like it will like literally fall off my head and like go into my lesion and like get stuck in my lesion. And I don't know if that's typical or what's going on, but I just was wondering if that's like a typical thing that happens.
Are you using our protocol for your scalp, the scalp protocol?
I'm trying the best that I can, yeah.
How often a day are you doing it?
Two times usually, 3 if I have to.
3-4 times a day, and you're sleeping at night with the bathing cap and the Claudia's Dream Cream and the Super MSM gel and peppermint or clove oil mixture in your hair?
I'm sleeping with as much of the products as I can. Yeah, but I guess I'm doing as much as I can. It's hard. I've been swimming a lot. That's been helping.
Okay, well, getting them out of your scalp is not an overnight kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
I think Robin will tell you that you need to be in it for a month or so, and every day you need to do it the protocol 3, maybe 4 times every day, and gradually start diminishing that as time goes on. You agree, Robin?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So. And do as much of the protocol as you can. So the idea is you take some of the Claudia's Dream Cream, put it in the palm of your hand. You put in some Super MSM gel. It's got diatomaceous earth in it and nature's gift. You put in clove oil, a few drops of that, or peppermint oil. But I think clove oil is, if you're dealing with mites, is where you want to go. And some of our either our shampoo, that foaming shampoo or regular shampoo, you mix that in the palm of your hand, massage it into your scalp. But before you do this, put some beeswax or something around your forehead so that anything that's in your scalp can't migrate down into your ears. So you want to put a moat of beeswax or something around there, and you massage it.
Does Manuka honey work for that?
Manuka honey?
Yeah.
I don't know, Robin. What do you think?
Manuka honey is really helpful with lesions. I don't know if I would use it on hair because it's so sticky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you probably want to leave that out for the hair. And you have your hair as short as you can. The shorter the better. And you do this 3-4 times a day. And you comb it out when you're done. Make sure you disinfect your pillowcases, have them in vinyl zippered covers, your car, your headrest in your car, anywhere. If you have a couch that you sit in, make sure the headrest is disinfected and routinely, so that you're not going to get reinfected from these organisms. And be persistent, be aggressive, and you will notice results.
Okay.
Comb it out, and then shower and bathe clean your scalp in the shower, and then do the process over and over. Make sure you disinfect the comb that you use to clean your hair, to comb your hair.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who's next, Chris?
This one's from Imogene. She says, I have a question regarding flooring pipes. I have recently suffered water damage in my house due to a perished washer on the hot water tap on my bath, which took some time to detect. Water from this came through my hallway ceiling and the plaster collapsed. The hallway carpet and underlay is now completely drenched. I am in the process of making an insurance claim, and it isn't completely clear if the replacement floor covering must be similar carpet or whether it can be some other form of flooring. Please let me know if there is one type of flooring that beats the rest in terms of ease of cleaning and sanitizing for mice and Morgellons. For instance, are ceramic stones or tiles easier to look after, or laminates and vinyls worth considering? I guess that no material is perfect, but I'm hoping that something will make life a little easier. Many thanks.
I would go ceramic tile.
Yeah, I agree. That's the easiest to clean. Do not go with laminates because you can't, anything you want to clean with is going to ruin it.
Right. Laminates are a problem. Plus, there's also cracks and crevices that they can get down into the laminates where they put the laminate together. So ceramic tile, you get $50. Mark, what's it? The old time comedian. Marx. Okay.
Oh, right. The Marx Brothers.
Yes.
Groucho,
right. Groucho Marx. Okay. What's the next one?
Yes, this one's from Bill. He says, good evening, Richard. I haven't come across in your book if eating bison would be approved for the King diet. It is said to be a super healthy food with less trans fats compared to beef, etc. Is bison something safe that I can consider adding to the diet? Thank you, Bill.
Any meat. I didn't have the opportunity to have bison. I didn't have ostrich or any of those other meats that, I didn't have an opportunity to have frog legs or snake, so any meat is good.
As long as they don't inject it with sugar water or something else.
True, like ham.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great. And of course, that doesn't extend to the meats that you get at the slice and dice counter, the cold cuts. They're very rare. What is it? Dietz and Watson is probably the only brand that.
And I have to say, originals. Dietz and Watson originals are the only kind that have nothing in them.
Yeah, it used to be boar's head was good, but they've gotten crummy with their ingredients. Okay, next question.
A May 2021 study cements the link between Morgellons and Lyme disease, infection, not a parasite. I'll ask you to read the following. The definition of a parasite is an organism that lives in or an organism of another species, its host, and benefits by deriving nutrients that the other spent. This is from Patricia.
Yes, Patricia wrote and said, Morgellons is not a parasite, and there was a link there, and I linked on it, and it didn't go anywhere, but I looked up the definition of parasite, which Mary just read. Would you read that again, what was in quotes, the definition of a parasite?
An organism that lives in or on an organism of another species, its host, and benefits by deriving nutrients at the other's expense.
Well, number one, is Morgellons an organism? I don't see any evidence that it is not an organism. We don't know what kind of organism it is, apparently, but assuming it's an organism, and the filaments and fiber, it uses nutrients, whatever this organism is that seems to be unidentified, it does utilize nutrients, specifically organic sulfur, MSM, iron, to produce filaments that are comprised of collagen and keratin. So to me, that says it's a parasite, just going by the definition of a parasite. So I wasn't able to look at the link, but the link had something to do with Lyme disease. And okay, is Lyme disease a parasite? I don't know. Probably not. You call it a bacterium. It's a bacteria. But not everybody who has Morgellons has Lyme disease. That's the research done by Strickler, one of their pilot studies. They have found that 9 out of 10 people have one of two types of spirochete, Lyme disease, but 10% they didn't find the Lyme disease. So, okay. And another interesting thing I saw was on one of the Facebook posts was that it was found that something that is typically unknown to most professionals in the medical field about Lyme disease is that Lyme disease has something about producing a fungus in its process of its life, some kind of fungal organism. So, and we know that fungal organisms are at least 90% of us who are dealing with Morgellons are also dealing with some kind of fungal organism. And this is exactly why we recommend Lufeneron, and which is a medication that you get from a site that we recommend, shop4morgellons.com. And Lufeneron, it inhibits the production of chitin, which is the building block of all fungal organisms. And I mean, I've had people say, well, Lufeneron cured me. Well, Lufeneron got rid of fungal organisms replicating. And yeah, that may have been the real problem, the cofactor that was the real problem that, Morgellons is, okay, a bad actor, but it's like he's like the king on a chessboard. He is the most important piece, but not the most powerful piece. So you've got the king, the bishop, the rooks, and the pawns, and what's the other piece? Well, these pieces can be very powerful. So the queen could be some kind of fungal organism, and with Lufeneron, you can knock that off. We have that inhibits the production of new fungal organisms, but it doesn't affect the existing fungal organisms. So we add in calcium Daclex, which is in our store. It inhibits the production of the hyphae. Every fungal organism has what is similar to a root structure. It's called hyphae. Calcium Daclex inhibits that production. We also have the kinase enzymes, and the enzymes assimilate chitin. So the existing fungal organisms in your body are of chitin base, and those enzymes go about chewing them up. And it also turns out that this particular enzyme that we have is actually known for degrading biofilm. And the spirochetes from Lyme disease are excellent at creating biofilm. So this particular enzyme is a double winner. It goes after the biofilm and inhibits the chitin. Not inhibits, it actually assimilates, chews it up, that is existing. So our protocol handles pretty much this from a very effective approach.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I don't know that it really matters, but what is the difference between yeast and fungal?
Yeah, yeast is a fungal. I don't know how many, if you look up in Britannica how many fungal organisms there are, I don't know, I would imagine thousands. And yeast is just one form of fungal organisms. Candida is a yeast organism. There's Candida albicans, which is the most common. There's Candida auris, which is a dangerous fungus. It's a superbug kind of fungus that basically can eat you alive. So, and then there are the types of fungal organisms that are in your lungs. I can't pronounce it. Blastomas, I think, is something similar to that. But these are all different types of fungal organisms, and they all have the same characteristics of hyphae, which is a root structure. That the root structure absorbs nutrients from your skin, your body, your tissue. If you see mold growing on a wall, it goes into the wall and takes nutrients from sheetrock or whatever it's growing on. So there's an unlimited. You have the mushrooms, all the mushroom families. All these are fungal issues, fungal organisms.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Well, that concludes this segment then.